Hi, I'm Maggie from maggiescrochet.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a ruffled scarf. That's super easy the way I do it, and I'm going to be using Red Heart Boutique Sashay metallic yarn. This comes in 6 colors. It's available at maggiescrochet.com, and the item number is NM782-M, and it retails for $5.25. The colors are opal, diamonds, rubies is in here, malachite, which is this color here, golden, amethyst, and aquamarine is right here. So I'm going to use a lighter color, which is going to be the gold, so that you can see it on my black background here. You definitely want to watch the different videos for the different ruffled scarves using the like Sashay is different, slightly different from Starbella. So you need to watch the separate videos for those. Okay, you definitely want to pull from the center. It'll save you a lot of time. And just reach your fingers in there and do the best to pull out the center. And then when you open up the strand of yarn, you'll see that there's like a finished wider edge right there, and then the thinner edge right here. So we're going to be working on this edge, so that this edge will be the one that shows in the scarf. So to start, you need to fold this over about 3 inches like this, and then pick up the loops at the top, one from each side. So I'm going to start right here and put this loop and get the corresponding loop on the other side, and I went from the front to the back. Then I'm going to go to the next set of loops, and I'm going from the front to the back, and then the next set of loops, front to the back. I'm just feeding them onto my hook. And the hook that I'm using is a Dreams crochet hook. And the reason why I love this for the ruffled scarves is because of the deep cut in the head. I don't know of any other hooks that have this deep of a cut. And you'll see why in a minute, why it's so important. So then I'm going to go into the next set of loops like that. And the very last one, I have one left, so I'm going to go in that one and this one. And you can always trim this up a little bit, make it straighter right there when you get done. So then I'm going to pick up one loop like the net. I'm going to skip this loop here on the one strand and then just pick up this one. So this one strand that I just picked up, I'm going to bury down in the head of the hook right here. I'm going to put my fingers right here on this side of the remaining loops that are on the hook, and I'm going to pinch them together like this, and I'm going to turn the head of my hook down and pull those over that one loop that's inside the head of the hook. So you want to try to make sure that you're not catching inside. And if you want to get started, you can just pull one by one through there. This doesn't want to cooperate with me here. So I'm going to just pull them off one by one. I'm just going to do a small group at a time. So I got that group over. And then I'm just going to pinch these 2 sets of loops and pull that one through. I think what's happening too is the little strands of metallic are getting caught. Okay, so that. So do whatever you got to do to get that started and pull those loops off the hook. It'll get easier right now. Okay, so now we're on to single loops. We don't have to worry about the double loops anymore. So I'm going to skip this loop and pick up the next one. And all I'm doing is I'm holding this like in my fist, this hook, and I'm using this hand to feed the loops on there. I'm skipping a loop, putting that loop on here, skip, put the next one on, skip, put the next one on, skip, put the next one on. Now you can make these, I've seen I've seen people make these with only this many loops on the hook. They only picked up 5 loops. And I've seen them with 10, 12 loops. So if you do 5 loops, it looks really pretty because it just comes out really light and airy, and it looks really, really, really good. So if you're not really into the full fluffy ruffled scarf, you might want to just try 5. And definitely if you're only doing 5 loops at a time, this will get long enough and you'll have enough to make 2 scarves out of 1 skein if you're only pulling 4 loops off. But right now I'm just gonna do like 8 loops. So I just did 5. I'm skipping and I'm do 6. And I'll do 7, and then I'll do 8. Okay, so I did 8 loops. So I've got the last loop that I put on my hook. I'm gonna leave inside the head of the hook right there. Then I'm gonna grab these, pinch them all together, turn the head of my hook down, and bring that last loop through the remaining loops on my hook. See that? And it just makes the little gather here. Now, one trick I want you to use, I even use it even though I'm experienced at making these, is these, if you set this down or if you don't pull that last loop through correctly, all these loops could fall off. And I've seen people make these and all their work just unravels because this is just gathering. So we have these great little stitch markers that are at maggiescrochet.com. So I just go in the back of the loop and I place a stitch marker there. So if it were to fall out, it couldn't fall past my big jumbo stitch marker right here. So now I'm ready to do the next batch. So I'm spreading this open and then I'm skipping this loop. I'm going from front to back and picking up the next loop, skipping the next one, going in the next one, skip, next, skip. You can see the holes really easy. Next, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6, and there's 7, and there's 8. Okay, so I'm on 8. So now I'm gonna, that very last loop, I'm gonna keep right there. These, I'm gonna pinch together. I'm gonna turn the head of my hook down, and I'm gonna pull those over the last loop I picked up. There's the second little gather. So then I skip this one, go in that one, skip. So there's 2, and there's 3, and there's 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, the last one on my hook I'm going to leave there. I'm going to pinch all these together, turn the head of my hook down, and pull that last loop through these. And then I would work with 2 stitch markers and have one here, one on the one you just completed. This is definitely something you need if you're just learning how to make these. So after my next bunch, I will take this one out, the first one that I placed, and move it up. So I just keep changing those. Okay, so I'm going to skip this one, go in this one, skip this one, skip this one, skip. And really, you could teach anybody how to do these. They don't even have to know how to crochet, I don't think, to know how to do these. So you want to pull off, you want to have 8, you want to have 9 total. So 2, 4, 6, 8, so I need one more. Okay, there's my 9. This one's staying on. These, I'm going to put my finger on each side of the group. And I'm going to turn the head of my hook down and bring it through the loops on my hook. It's a lot easier when you only have 1 strand. Now see, I see 2 strands here. So I'm glad this happened. The way you want to test to see if which strand needs to come off your hook is you want to pull the one that you think is the one that should stay on, And if it pulls this across here, that's the one that needs to stay on. See how that's pulling that? Right there? So that one should stay on. This one didn't make it over that loop. So there. That was a good decision. So now see how it's ruffling? And some people commented on how if you hold it on the side, it looks like that. But when you wear these, you don't see that. It just flops down and the ruffles just, you know, drape over that. And you don't see that part of it. Okay, so let me do this one more time. You just skip this one, go on the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, your last one you leave on the hook. You keep that one down there. Put your fingers around the rest of the hooks like this. Turn the head of your hook down and bring it through the remaining loops. To finish off the scarf, you would, if you were down at the end of the scarf here, you would cut about 3 or 4 inches of the strand. Leave about 3 or 4 inches at the end and cut that off. And then you have your last loop on your hook here, and you just take the entire strand and you yarn over with that, and you draw that through the last loop on your hook, and you bring that all the way through. And then you it's pretty safe right here, but you might want to go like this and just tie a knot at the bottom, and this will be covered up by all the ruffles, but just tie a knot like that, and then cut this about a 1/2 inch away from the knot, so when you go like this you can't see that knot at the bottom. So that's how you make your ruffled scarf. These are, I think you can make one of these in, I know, less than an hour once you get the hang of it. And I went to a women's crafting weekend, and I brought the yarn, and I taught probably at least close to 20 women how to make these. And so it was really interesting to see how they did it differently. They would do it with only 5 loops or 8 loops, or some did more loops, like 10, 12, 14 even, and then it would come out super full. So they're a lot of fun, and we have so many colors, and we have new ones coming out soon. And so anyway, that's how you make a ruffled scarf using Sashay metallic yarn. And this is available at maggiescrochet.com, and the model number for this is NM782-M, and I hope that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and shop with us. Thank you so much for watching.